It's the end of the month wrap up and the TBR for the next month. So let's talk about March and what's going to happen in April. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Heather and this is where we talk about all things books. I am, like I said, going to talk about what I read in March, which I thought it wasn't a whole lot until I started writing down all the things that I read, and I actually realized that I read more than I thought it was going to be, honestly. I read more than I thought. So first things first, I finished reading Neverseen, the fourth book of Keeper of the Lost Cities, and I am about a third of the way through Lodestar. So these are my physical books that I read, and as a family we finished reading the third Wingfeather saga book, so the Monster in the Hollows, and I can't wait to talk about this one. And then we started reading the fourth book of this one, so we have that. And then for me, for audiobooks, I read 1.5 books. I'm not going to talk about those for reasons I'll tell you. So I read that, and then I also read a manga. So let's go into each of these one by one. I finished reading Neverseen, and in this one, there will be spoilers, just so you know, because it's the fourth book. So if you haven't read the first 3, spoilers on this, just warning you. So Neverseen, you are with Sophie and Fitz and Keith and Biana, and they're all joining up with the Black Swan in this book. And you have Keith, who is going through such a hard time dealing with the fact that his mom is actually part of they're called the Neverseen, the bad people, okay? So he's having to deal with that because he thought it was his father, but it was actually his mother. And his mother and father aren't really good people, weren't very good parents to him, but his mom was kinder than his dad. And so he is very devastated throughout this whole book, and it was so hard to read, and I felt so bad for him. I wanted to reach in and give him a hug and like, oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Keith. It's going to be okay. And then the end of the book was it was a complete shock for how Keith reacted to some things, and the person who betrayed them in this book, I wasn't expecting, honestly. And so overall, I enjoyed this book. I finished it relatively quickly. I read it during spring break. For everything else, we still were doing school, but because we took our spring break earlier. And so we were continuing with our homeschool, but all of the extracurriculars were canceled. So I was able to actually finish reading this book that week. And then I moved on to reading Lodestar, which I'm enjoying as well. It's slow going because I started reading this after, and if you've noticed, I haven't uploaded many videos, and there was a reason for that, and I'll get to that later. But it's been really busy, and so I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and read this book. So there's that. And then earlier last month, we as a family finished reading The Monster in the Hollows. And this is probably my favorite Wingfeather Saga book so far. It was heartbreaking, and there were so many things that happened in here. You see Janner and Kalmar really grow up in this book, but you also see Kalmar wrestling with his emotions in here, trying to figure out who he is, because now he is a wolf boy, and he's being taunted and threatened by the people in the hollows. And so it's a hard time in here. And then you also see, I think her name is Lily, but my children want me to say Lili, so that's the way we're going to pronounce it. So Lili in here you see her grow up, and she is learning how to do certain things, how to talk and speak to dogs and train dogs in these books, and it's seeing each of them grow up is amazing. And then you find Nia, who finally is able to move on, and then heartbreak happens at the end to all of them, and I was devastated at the end of this book. I was so upset, and I'm not gonna give spoilers, but man, I teared up because I'm tearing up now because it was just so sad, but it was also a beautiful conclusion to part of the story as well. And I'm hoping characters come back later on in the series, but I don't know if it'll happen, so we'll see what happens in this next book. It is the fourth book is actually a lot bigger than these, so it may take a good bit to get through them. I can't even remember the name of the last book. Oh, The Warden and the Wolf King. So that's what we're reading currently we started it in March, and so we're going to keep going through it in April. Then let's see, so those are that, and now move on to the audiobooks that I read. I'm not going to give the names because they have to do with a video I'm going to be doing later on down the road, and I'm just not ready to give those names or give the names of the books yet, because it'll kind of give away what I'm doing, and I want to kind of keep it a little bit of a surprise. So I am about I read one audiobook for sure, and then about halfway through another audiobook, and then I started the first couple chapters of The Way of Kings. So there was a lot of things going on, and then I read the next volume in Spy Family. I finished reading that one to get current on it, and honestly, I enjoyed it. It was so funny. I laughed so hard. I even had to stop and show my husband and my son, and because my daughter was already in bed at that point, the next day I showed her as well and read her little snippets of the funny parts, and it was really fun. I'm still enjoying Spy Family so much. I can't wait for them to continue the anime because they're doing such an amazing job with it. I love it, and honestly my family is too. So that's everything that I read in March. And like I said, I didn't really think that I read that much, and then sitting down and mapping it all out, I was like, I actually read more than I thought, which is honestly a good thing. And everything that I read was good. I enjoyed everything that I've read. So yeah, that is where I'm at right now. I am currently reading these things, and for April I am going to continue reading Lodestar and then move on to the next book, which is Nightfall. So we have Lodestar and then Nightfall I will read, and then I will continue on probably with this series for my physical book, and I'm going to continue reading The Way of Kings as my audiobook. And even though I didn't read Yona of the Dawn for my manga, I'm going to move that to this month and focus on reading that for my manga whenever I have a chance. So that's everything that we're doing, and we're gonna keep on doing the fourth book of The Wing Feather, which was I still can't remember the name of it. It's The Warden and the Wolf King. So that's what we're gonna continue in April. But yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing for reading, and I'm excited to get on in these books. Now on to what I want to talk to you about. If you haven't noticed, I didn't really post much in March. Other than spring break, which I did post a video that week, I did not have a whole lot of time. It was a little on the crazy side this past month. We started baseball practice, and it just took up a lot of time along with all of our other extracurriculars. So I had to choose between recording and editing videos and having a little bit of rest for myself. and I chose to rest. And you know what? That's okay. I need rest. I do. So that's what I chose to do. And I know it may be a little disappointing to you, and I'm sorry, but that I had to rest, and it was good for me. I needed that break. I was honestly burning out pretty quickly, not just on videos, but on everything. And I was taking on too much. And I know I was, and so I needed to cut back, and so videos is where it ended up happening. I hate it because I do enjoy posting and talking about videos with all of you, but it needed to have happened. And so going on forward into April, I probably won't post a whole lot either. Now I'm going to post this video, and I will post the video, the Agatha Christie video that I've been working on as well at some point this month. I should have it finished within the next week or two, but I will not be posting consistently again until May, because this month is the end of the school month. And that means I'm wrapping up our main homeschool curriculum, and we're wrapping up our co-ops and all of the extracurriculars. We have extra practices on top of our normal ones because we have recitals and dress rehearsals, and also games on top of it twice a week. So it's a little busy this month, and I am not going to stress myself out trying to post a video when I haven't even had adequate time to breathe for myself. So that's what I have planned. So don't worry, I am planning to still do videos, and I hope you will continue to enjoy the videos. It's just that for the next month, I will also be taking breaks as well as like I did in March. I know I didn't tell you in March, it just kind of happened. And I'm sorry I left you all hanging, but I am warning you now, and April will be a little less, they'll have a little less videos than normal, but I'll see you in May for sure. Absolutely. And yeah, that's all that I have for this month. I will continue reading. I hope to see what you've been reading, and hopefully you've enjoyed your month as much as I have. And yeah, I will see you soon. Bye.